I became a painter in order to paint a human face. I think human face is the most, for me, is the most fascinating subject matter. Quite extraordinary. I love to just, for instance, stare at faces, which is something that you cannot normally do, but when you take subway in New York City, there is a chance to just look for like half an hour. It depends. If you're going to far away in Brooklyn, then it's like 45 minutes. You're there and it's just to look at faces. And then people go out, other people, they come back and sit in front of you. And nothing fascinates me as much. Yeah, I come to my studio morning early, always early. First, when I'm in front, when I start thinking, one has thoughts and decisions in mind. But then, once I start the act of painting, then I don't think. I don't think at all. It's just when I stopped, thoughts, they come back. I'm sure that, as you said, that there is like years of doing the same thing over and over again. Obviously, there are to create some specific colors, for instance, for some areas, it happens automatically. But once I'm applying it and going into it, I don't know what I'm doing. Each time there is an element of surprise, each time after all these years. To paint is like to breathe or to eat. It's part of my constitution, I guess. It's, I don't know how to describe it. It's more natural, as I mentioned, like breathing, because I started to paint really as a very young child. Probably 5, 6, 7 years old. And that's it. And since now, ever since, that's what I've been doing. Even my student years, my university years that I wasn't studying art, but everyday painting was part of the process, is so part of me that I don't know, as if my fingers are part of my body. Painting is so much part of my psyche. I started to paint as a child, basically very early on, like 5, 6 years old. I started to paint with oil paint. And my mother was a painter. And she had a studio in our house. And she was sort of like an academic painter, very good, very 19th century European oriented academic sort of art. Portraiture was her main thing, but also still lifes and landscapes. So I sort of grew up with painting, and I remember all the years of my school and high school in Iran. In Tehran, I always painted during weekends or after school at home. For me, painting is extremely alive in the sense, in generalizing it, in the sense you go to museums to look at painting of different periods, or you go to studios of colleagues, or you go to galleries. For me, painting is alive in the sense that a painting has a skin, which is the surface of the painting. And I believe that each painter has to invent his or her own surface and his or her own skin. And painting has a spirit, like any entity that is alive. And I find that quite extraordinary. As you said, I've been painting faces, portraits for many years, many decades. This new series of paintings I'm working on, that this is among it, is an ongoing series that I've started like 6-7 months ago. They are very much connected and based on Fayum portraits, which are these Roman Egyptian portraits of 1st, 2nd, 3rd century in the Fayum region in Egypt. So these are based on, for the first time, I'm doing portraits that are based on actual Fayums, that I paint them in my own style and on my own way. So in this group that I'm envisaging something like 30, 40 paintings, most of them are based on these Fayums that are around the world in different museums and collections like Metropolitan, Louvre, Berlin, British Museum, and also some actual people that you can see in the studio, some of them, but the same format, the same approach. For instance, if I put this lady, this painting, this Fayum, which is probably the size of this actual photograph, is at Metropolitan in New York, Metropolitan Museum. And so if you can see, the painting is after her, but it's totally unfinished, I'm working on, but you can see that the painting has my own style or my own way of paintings. So this is it. Basically, yes, if it's an image of an actual person, living person, or an image of a painting, you get connected to that image, in any way, in many ways. each person is unique. And each person, to my eyes as a painter, is a fascinating subject for a painting, extraordinary subject for a painting, for a work of art. And I find that human face is beautiful. I see beauty in it, always. When I start to paint someone, a man or a woman, young, old, I see intensely that beauty which is the beyond. Style is I don't know how to describe my style, but my way of painting is not a decision, that doesn't come from a decision or from a particular school of art. It came naturally from years of experiencing it in the studio, and also looking at others, looking at art that is in museums. I was, from early childhood that I started to paint, I was absolutely enamored with oil paint. Oil paint, for me, the smell of oil paint was what attracted me so much about the painting. And obviously, if you love so much oil paint and you're so fascinated by it, so the great masters of oil paints are Europeans. So I looked a lot at what we call old masters of European art. Yes, that softness, that approach came to me something like 20, 25 years ago. It coincided with when I started to paint faces with closed eyes and as if they are in a meditative state or introspection or contemplation. Anyhow, the gaze was inside. I started to make them blurry. As if, that there is a tremor on the surface of the canvas. And that stayed with me. It's not that I don't make a decision that this face has to be very blurry or this shouldn't be. It just comes naturally. And, when you think about a face, it's never something fixed. It can never be. It's like there is a movement. There is is autofocus, let's say. So it comes from there. Memory plays a lot in my work, and part of it is that I grew up in one part of the world, and then all my childhood till age 17, 18, meaning all my adolescence and childhood, I lived it in Iran, and then I lived in the West. I mean, first in many years in France, and then now many decades in the United States. And so naturally you're connected very, very much to memory, because things that you lived are in another part of the world. You sometimes keep them by memory, And as I mentioned, the idea of out of focus and softness in the portraits, and also in my abstract works and night paintings, is very much, for myself, is very much connected also to the idea of memory. Things that coming to you, that they are never fixed and focused. They're always blurred, and there's always a tremor. Yes, what I just unpacked were the paintings that I brought with me from France yesterday. You know, in the winter, I have a studio in south of France, and I work there, which is like 3 months, sometimes even 4 months a year. I work there, and the winter of northeastern of United States is too harsh for me. So I try to be by the Mediterranean in the winter. So here are 4 paintings that I've been working on for the past few months, 3 months actually, that I brought back. These 3 are from Fayum's. This is the model for this is a Fayum painting from Metropolitan. This is a Fayum painting in Berlin. This is totally unfinished, also made. This is a portrait of a friend of mine, Phang Bui, New Yorker, originally from Vietnam. So I started this portrait of him. I show you pictures that I used for these paintings. This picture of Phang I used for this. This is the lady in Fayum from Berlin that I showed you. So that we don't, they're 2,000 years old or 1,800 years old. So most of them are broken. Here we don't have much of her dress, so I invented the dress for her. But these 4 paintings that you just saw, they are all unfinished yet. I think the image exists already in some level. And then my job is to, as you said, my job is to realize it, to make it concrete. And yes, there are this distinct series, distinct body of work, if you want to call it, like portraits, figurative art. And I have also hands, paintings of hands, what we call figurative art. And then there are dome paintings, which is like I've been working on for the past over 20 years. They're more, they're called domes, but they're not actual domes, because domes, they have perspective, and there is no perspective in them. It's the repetition of the same element over and over again. Till they get to the limit of the canvas. So there is that idea of infinity in the domes. And then there are these night paintings that are, again, very different from these 2 others. In each series, there are, a sense of continuity in each. But I think between them, this series, there is the same surface in terms of, because there is the same brush stroke, the way I use the brush stroke, the way I mixed my paintings, the way I try to make the surface of the canvas very dry. And that is, that happens in portraits, in my figurative work. It happens in the Dome series, and also in those abstract paintings that I call night paintings. So there is that continuity between them. Again, we go back to what I called the skin of the painting. The skin of the painting is, I think each painter has to invent his or her own surface, which is unique to that person, And if you look at, for instance, modern art, let's say, de Kooning's surface is his, so is like Jackson Pollock's surface. Andy Warhol invented his own surface, which is, you always recognize that silk screen image on the canvas and acrylic on top of it. That silk screen surface of canvas is Warhol's surface, is nobody else's, is his. And so are those drips of Pollock. Anyway, I believe that a painter has to invent his surface. But ultimately we live in a world, we live in a society, and we have a history. And at one point, I think all art is political in a certain way, because it cannot exist without the freedom of experience and freedom of expressing it. So that is always there. I mean, there are some people that like to do political statements, but regardless of that, we live in societies, and we are affected all the time by what's going on. For instance, the painting in Jerusalem was like an immediate reaction to a fact. Actual political fact was that I opened the newspaper that I read every morning, which is New York Times, among some other newspaper. I like to read papers, but now on my iPad. This was like a couple of decades ago, and was the height of Iraq war. United States had occupied Iraq and was going very bad then. And then there was a picture of these religious figures, from Muslim Mufti of Jerusalem to Jewish religious person, one Catholic, one from Orthodox Christian Church. They united in a gathering to prevent the gay parade to happen in Jerusalem, to prevent it. So I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like shocked that that region is burning, and it's like devastation going on. And this religious dignitary, the object of their gathering was prevent the gay festival or gay parade to happen in Jerusalem. So that was an immediate reaction. I immediately saw a painting with just these figures. They're portraits. The painting is not making fun of them, is not, they're just there, but their sheer presence points to that moment that I call it a moment of intolerance that, is, so yeah, there are obviously moments like that. For me, it's like there is a moment that I feel that the painting is breathing, sort of, becoming alive. That which is not all the time. Sometimes that happens. That moment is where I think that I can abandon that painting. Obviously the painting, the portrait you see the exterior aspect of a human being. But what I would love to achieve is somehow the soul comes up, whatever you call it, the psyche, or the soul, or that's the same, that can be palpable. So that is what, and that is not, is very exact that it is said that eyes are the windows to the soul, but I've done also many faces, portraits, or sitters that they have eyes closed. And is the same, is the experience of human face. When the eyes are open, they become the focus, your focus of the viewer when you look at the painting. But with eyes closed is a different experience, is the whole surface of the face that become the focus. But in both cases, what you hope to achieve is that something else, something invisible, comes through. What is great in painting compared to photography? Photography is fantastic, and I love photography. But the difference between painting and photography, and then from photography we go to this new world of images through social media, internet, selfies, etc., that in painting, there is the element of time. The painting doesn't happen like that. The face doesn't happen like that. It's a time. That time can be 24 hours, can be 24 days, or it can be, a couple of years. That element of time exists there. That does not exist in the frenzy of images. So that's why I think, although we are bombarded by images, all sorts of images, bombarded by faces, but the experience of painting stays there, because of that element of time. There is that element is timelessness in painting, I would say in art, not only painting, but in sculpture, in poetry, in music. And then I think personally that art has no boundary. There is no geography. You know, where you can be let's say a European and communicate intensely with Indian sculpture, like a Tamil 11th century bronze. Or you can be a Chinese and intensely communicate with a 17th century Spanish painting. So it's that universality of painting which goes to art, which is like timelessness, I think, is in the essence of a work of art.